What's up, everybody? I'm Matt Cobold, and this is Keepin' It Breezy, courtesy of High Fiber Sports. And tonight I've got to talk about a game that I attended last weekend between the Cardinal of Stanford and my Irish and Notre Dame. Now, this was back-to-back weekends, prime time under the lights for Kelly and I. The previous week, we went out to Boulder to see the Buffs play ASU. But Kelly actually lives about 25 minutes from Palo Alto. I knew I was going out there for Thanksgiving, so I had to combo the game with this weekend. This was also back-to-back seasons that I've seen Stanford play Notre Dame. I went to the game in South Bend last year, but my goodness, Stanford in Palo Alto, gorgeous. What a beautiful campus. Everything's so green. The trees are massive. You got the redwoods up there. I'll throw out a big four of Notre Dame, Harvard, Oregon, and Stanford as the most beautiful, most gorgeous campuses that I've been able to walk on. I even showed a little bit of respect myself by hugging a tree. The fan festivities pre-game, they were on point. The tailgating was awesome. It felt like we were at a campground. We were out camping. It didn't feel like we were at a football stadium. Just awesome vibes. Notre Dame, I think we had more fans in the game than Stanford did. Jeremiyah Love put us on the board first. Jadarian Price followed him up by plunging one in and put us up 14-0. Maybe the play of the game happened next. A fake punt by the Irish. Luka Talic caught one from Joshua Burnham, took it 84 yards to the house. We took a 35-3 lead in the break. Our biggest lead was 42-3. This was a smacking. Feet were up. We were relaxing. Anais Williams got loose in the fourth quarter for 51-yard scamper. Now, 2 fourth-quarter Stanford touchdowns made this a bit more respectable, but Irish still pulled this baby out 49-20. Looking at Notre Dame here, freshman quarterback CJ Carr was solid once again, 17 for 27 passing for 205 yards and 2 scores. He's had an efficient season, 24 passing touchdowns compared to only 6 picks. That's a solid touchdown to interception ratio. And CJ Carr is currently ranked 6th in the nation in passer rating. Looking at the Irish backfield, Jeremiyah Love, the Heisman hopeful, needed a big one against Stanford to jump up in that race. On the first drive alone, he had 9 carries for 58 yards in that score. But then, unfortunately, he missed the majority of the rest of the game with a rib injury. Ended up 14 carries for 66 yards. Jeremiyah Love, he currently has 1,372 rushing yards. That is 4th in the nation. He currently has 18 rushing touchdowns. That's 3rd in the nation. Here's one from the USC game. There it is. 6.9 yards per carry are the most among any player with at least 152 carries on the season. With this touchdown against Stanford, Love now owns the Notre Dame program record for the most total touchdowns in a single season with 21. Jerome Bettis held that record with 20 back in 1991. Love is also 1 rushing touchdown away from that Notre Dame single season record. He's 66 rushing yards away from that Notre Dame single season record, and he's 31 scrimmage yards away from that Notre Dame single season record. Jeremiyah Love, he very well could be the best running back in Notre Dame program history. I think he's the best back in the nation. the first running back off the board in next year's draft. I'm not really worried about the rib injury, but if it comes back up, if it flares back up, Jadarian Price, you want to call him a backup, go ahead. This dude could start for most teams in the country. He currently has 674 rushing yards and 11 scores himself this season at 6 yards per pop. And damn it, Anais Williams, the third stringer, the sophomore with a little bit of juice. A lot of garbage time here against Stanford, but he had 10 carries for 83 yards and 2 scores against the Cardinal. That three-headed monster, if we need it, we've got it. Looking at the playoff now, the committee released their penultimate rankings this past week. There wasn't much movement, but we did see Alabama jump us for the 9 spot. Now, the 10 spot, I really don't want to be there with no games remaining on the schedule, no more meat on the bone. Now, the main talking point for the CFP rankings these past couple of weeks is how the hell is Notre Dame ranked above Miami when Miami beat us back in week 1? And you know what, fellas? I really don't have a good answer for you. Maybe strength of losses. We've talked about it. Notre Dame's 2 losses are by a combined 4 points to Texas A&M and Miami. Miami's 2 losses are to Louisville and SMU, 2 teams that aren't really in the picture. But let's look at it here. BYU, those Soakers, they're ranked 11th, 1 spot behind our Irish. If they win the Big 12 championship game over Texas Tech on Saturday, they're jumping us. I think Notre Dame is then out of the playoff in that scenario. As we know, probably 2 conference champions are going to take up the 11 and 12 spots. Now, if BYU loses that Big 12 championship, that would theoretically bump Miami up from number 12 to number 11, 1 spot behind our Irish. Now, you've got those teams back to back. How can you not put Miami over Notre Dame? This would be devastating for the Irish. I think we're a top 12 team, but I won't be shocked if the committee leaves us out. The College Football Playoff Committee will release their final rankings this Sunday, December 7th, after the championship games conclude. Are the Irish in or out? Does Bama fall with a loss to Georgia in the SEC championship game? Can we get 2 Big 12 teams in if BYU upsets Texas Tech? What happens to the Big 10 loser between Ohio State and Indiana, the only 2 remaining undefeated teams in the nation? Does the winner of the game also get the Heisman for their quarterback? A lot of questions are going to be answered this Sunday. The Irish, they look solid in this win, but it could have been more of an ass beating. Lastly, check out this Andrew Luck bobblehead that I snagged on the way out. The new general manager of the Cardinal. Looks nothing like him. But let's go Irish. Get us in the playoff. We beat Stanford in this one, 49-20. Let's go.